Hello and welcome to the I've Seen Everything Reaction Wrap-Up podcast. Here is where I share my thoughts, reactions, and review for my latest reaction videos. To find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube, or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode, and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. And now, on to my latest wrap-up for Dial M for Murder. Still not used to, well, I mean, I've watched a lot of movies from this era, but I'm still not used to it ends. Just boom. Last scene, the end, that's it. Man, you saw me. You saw me the whole movie through. I examined about every angle there was to examine out of that whole thing. And I saw several twists. There are some I didn't see. There were some times during this I was very clearly lost on what direction we were going or where we were going to end up. One of the things I didn't see was the whole thing with the key there. I didn't get that till the very end. And that made so much sense, and that was brilliant. But even more than that, surprisingly, the one thing I didn't expect, that this guy was such a sociopath, this husband by this point, although I should have, he showed it. He showed it at the very beginning. One of the first things I said is like, he has to know they're cheating. But at the same time, it's like, well, he couldn't be this cordial to them. It's like anybody else would be angry. They would be outraged. They wouldn't be able to stand in a room with their wife and the man that she was cheating on him with and just act like everything's fine. So there was that. Then there was when he brought Swan, I think it was. He had so many names. And laid out this whole thing. It started as a friendly exchange of someone wanting to buy a car, and then showed him quickly that, oh yeah, we know each other, and oh yeah, I've been following you, and I know all these things going on in your life, and I have you over a barrel, and you're going to do this, and you're going to profit from it, or I can make your life hell, basically. And did it all with a smile. He never showed any real emotion. Well, I shouldn't say never. He almost never showed any real emotion. The only time I saw something out of him that I thought might be real emotion was when he made the call, when he could hear her screaming and crying on the other side. I couldn't tell if what I was reading on his face was just apprehension about whether his plan was going to come to fruition, or if it was him actually feeling guilt at that point for what he had set up to happen to his wife, actually feeling remorse or regret or wishing he hadn't done it or something. I don't know. At this point, based on how he acted in every other part of this movie, I don't know if he's capable of that kind of remorse or that kind of human emotion. But at this point, to walk into that apartment, falling into the trap they have set for him, what was he going to do? Was he literally going to turn and run because he realized he was caught? Was he just going to go on the run permanently? Who knows? But he turned, tried to go out, saw that there was a cop blocking his way, realized that he was caught. No emotion about it. Maybe at that point he was just exhausted from the whole thing. I don't know. It just reads sociopath that, oh, well, you've got me. Let's all have a drink. My wife, who I set up for all of this, and I was going to let you be executed. Would you like a drink? Oh, her lover, who I hated, and you're the reason why I was going to have my wife killed. And you actually loved her, and you've been desperately trying to find a way to save her life. And I pretended I was on your side, but I wasn't. Would you like a drink? Oh, a detective who's calling the people to come take me away to presumably take me to prison. And I don't know, if I'll necessarily get the death penalty for something like this, but I'm certainly going to spend quite a few years in prison for it. Would you like a drink? It's like this whole thing of this disconnection from the reality of the situation. Maybe that kind of ending was seen as kind of funny and aloof back in this time period. I don't know. There's a way to read it where it's like, oh, you've got me. Oh, well. And there's a way to read it that's like, oh, this person is deeply disturbed. And this person is not in touch with reality and faces some of the most horrific circumstances and things happening in life with a very disconcerting smile and disconnection from anything that could resemble human emotion. Maybe they didn't go that deep with these things in the 50s. I mean, Hitchcock certainly started getting into that kind of stuff more as his movies went on. Man, there is a lot of malice to read out of there. And especially, I think you could have played it up even more. Hitchcock could have played it up even more if he had one or two shots, one or two private moments that showed in a very eerie and disturbing way just how much he had detached from reality, making him even more of an unsympathetic character and a scary character. But also, like any other Hitchcock movie, it puts you in this position of, who are you pulling for at this point, At the end of it, I'm pretty much pulling for her and the guy she was cheating with. I mean, they're basically innocent except for the fact that they were unfaithful, or she was unfaithful in a marriage. That's not nothing. It's certainly not worth, oh, she was unfaithful in a marriage. Kill her. No, that's not how that works. And that's disgusting and horrible. And again, an entire other level of depravity. I mean, the other one is a human failing of not honoring the monogamy of a relationship. That's not great, but that's not, a horrible, violent crime or a murder. And this guy, I mean, presumably he had some time to get there. Maybe just the thought of his wife cheating on him slowly drove him out of his mind. Maybe he was always a sociopath. I don't know. He seemed to have been in his element when he was doing those things. Hitchcock puts you in these positions of you don't necessarily know who you're pulling for, because you're not pulling for him necessarily, especially once he's shown how heartless and cold he is. But like I said during the reaction, he puts you in this position where it's like, okay, he's laid out this plan. It's one of the first things he does in the movie. Is it going to go according to plan? The suspense to see if it's going to happen that way. Not that you want him to succeed, but it's like, is it actually going to occur that way? And if so, what does that mean? Or is something going to go wrong along the way? Like so many other Hitchcock things, it's like you get almost all the way there, but like you have to have one or two things just kind of screw the whole thing up, twist the whole thing around. At the end, it was just mixing up a key and a couple things on the way there that look like they're not going to go right to really jolt you with the suspense. It's one of the things Hitchcock knew how to do the best. They called him the Master of Suspense for a reason. He knew how to play with human expectation. He knew how to play with human anxiety over a situation, people being uneasy to see if something was going to resolve or not. Anyway, I've been talking for far too long. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being along for the ride on this. I got to watch a new Hitchcock movie I hadn't seen, which there's still a few of those out there. I'd love to watch more. Another one with Grace Kelly, which I think this is it. I don't think he did, or that she did any more with him, but was very entertaining. Very much enjoyed it. Did not see the ending coming. Did not see a lot of the twists. I followed some of it, but they still got me. So thank you for voting for it. Thank you for watching this with me, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks so much for listening to the I've Seen Everything reaction wrap-up. Again, to find these full reaction videos, please search for @SeenEverything over on YouTube or check the description of this podcast for more information. Also, please remember to rate and comment on this episode and follow the podcast so you can see when I'm putting out new wrap-ups. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll meet you here for the next episode.